This is Songwriting Behind the Curtain. I am your host, Luke.
And my name is Kian Mattern, C28.
And this is Songwriting Behind the Curtain. This is episode 2, How I Spoke. And how I spoke is really through the songwriting, through the words. And the very first album was Newsboys Not Ashamed.
Okay.
And I would say, okay, chapter 1, I cannot get you out of my system, to chapter 10, lost this guy again. I would say, oi boy, got a new gig, shoving your brain like a too tight wig. So really, I'm not singing, I'm actually reading. And then I would listen to the way how the artist intends to do it. And then it worked.
I don't think I follow. What are you saying?
What I'm saying is it helps me to communicate better.
Songs do. Music does.
Right. But it also helps me to read better because I'm not great at reading.
Okay, you mean by like reading the lyrics and seeing them happen at the same time? Builds that connection?
No, like reading a book.
Interesting. But there are no books in music. It's just like audio. But okay.
But I see a studio album as a book.
Well, sure.
So I
like
see
metaphorically, you could see that.
Flipped.
But you can't actually read a song because it's not.
I can read a song.
Well, okay.
I do want to point out something from Tim Foreman from Switchfoot. What he said to me on Facebook Messenger, he said, "It's amazing how albums is like a complete story with each song as a chapter in a book. When you listen to the whole album, it's like diving into the story from beginning to end. Sequencing is indeed crucial for creating a no-skip album or playlist. It's like crafting a narrative with the flow that keeps listeners engaged. The order of songs can make a huge difference in how the album is experienced, just like arranging notes in music to create harmony. It's all about creating a dynamic journey for the listeners, ensuring a smooth transition from one song to the next. Thanks for sharing your insights on the importance of sequencing in music albums."
Yeah, so I personally enjoy making curated albums, or playlists rather, curated playlists, and I'll tell a story through other people's songs. I use a lot of these for meditative exercises, so there are different ones I have for exploring your thoughts and feelings, for simply relaxing, for going more introspective, and it's able to really take you on this like cinematic style journey, but completely in audio. But yeah, when you're able to just have an album that does all that, that's pretty good. It's cool.
Yeah, but for me, this one, since I'm a special need person, this really helps my reading better. Like sometimes...
I'm curious what you mean by that, by helping with reading, because you must be reading something as you're doing it.
For me, when I pull out like REM Monster, I would pull out What's the Frequency, Kenneth, and I would say, "What's the frequency, Kenneth? It's short been a drain." Uh-huh.
I don't follow.
So, what I mean by that is I am reading the words or reading the lyrics.
Okay. So you are reading lyrics. Yeah, I asked that before. Yeah. So you are reading the lyrics and you're getting an association of what that sounds like, and that does help with building that connection. That's good.
For me, I really don't say lyrics. I say, details.
Why so?
Because um when I say like I'm reading lyrics, um it does help my brain for for uh for reading, and I've read lyrics for a long time.
Okay. I guess I have nothing to say on the semantics of calling lyrics lyrics versus calling lyrics details. But it's good that you're able to use this way of just reading the lyrics as you hear them, kind of like an audiobook, to be able to get a better association of
I don't see it as an audiobook, but I see the artist as an author.
Okay.
And I don't call it a track because there are other ways of calling a track. Like sometimes I'll say, "Man, I've lost track."
Well, that's just a word
I've lost
that has
backtrack.
the same, has different meaning. The same what are those
Railroad
called?
track.
No, I mean that's not really a reason not to say track for.
But
these.
For me, there's a reason. And for me, why I
homophones.
don't. And for me, why there is a reason behind it is because I want to call it completely different, because the music industry calls it a track, but for me, I don't.
So, what's the significance of going against what the industry is saying and what many people agree on for track to mean song? Honestly, I kind of agree that we shouldn't be calling songs tracks. Instead, we should just be calling them songs, because track
songs would work.
And a music term
songs would work,
really just refers to the track in a digital audio workstation.
I
or
also say outtakes.
console.
I also say outtakes. Songs that
what doesn't always apply, but yeah,
songs that never make it to the final cut of the album. You know?
But what's the significance of this? Why make that distinction?
Example, there's Lavender Blue from ABC, and it originally was supposed to be on the Jackson 5 ABC album back in the 70s, but it never gotten released. Now it's been leaked online on YouTube, and now it's an outtake, which is an unreleased recording that is, which is an unreleased recording that never made it to the final cut.
Yeah, but
sometimes
the question was why make the distinction of refusing to call songs tracks. My reason was that I would prefer if the word track stayed in music, at least stayed meaning just the individual. They're also called channels, but the track for audio or MIDI or something like that within your workstation environment.
For me,
what was your reason?
My reason is it's, since I'm a special need person, I just wanted to call it, songs, or...
So it's easier for you to understand the concept that way. Is that it?
Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's easy. That's fair.
And also, it's easier for me to communicate to people better.
They may not receive it as easily, but
and
sure.
it's
easier for you to pull up the concept. Yes, that's
for
fair.
me, if I'm in a studio, I just want to work with the songwriters instead of the music.
Interesting distinction. Okay.
So that's how I feel about music, is I got it through the songwriters themselves.
Cool. Well, I guess it's been a pretty fun episode. Glad to be on here.
Yeah. Glad to have you, Ken.
All right. Take care.
This is Songwriting Behind the Curtain. Take care. Peace.